What's up, guys? Welcome back to Evolve. Today we have a game on Fusion Plant, which is hardly ever seen. For some reason the game I haven't gotten a whole lot of games on Fusion Plant, but the other two are pretty fun maps either way. So, got a game on Fusion Plant with the Goliath. I didn't notice exactly what skills I took. Looks like I took ability cooldown though as my perk. I'll go ahead and see what skills I take when I end up getting into the game. So I think Fusion Plant is the one with that big metal pipe in the one corner of the map, and there's that mountain up in the other corner. So it's a pretty fun area. You can get some good ambushes off inside of that cliff area. That's actually what my build was towards the end of the alpha. At least with Goliath specifically, is there was always this aggressive wildlife that you could leap over, and as the hunters ran through and ran past that elite wildlife, or the aggressive wildlife, I would always ambush them right then, and they would have to fight right between me and an aggressive wildlife. So if they backpedaled, that aggressive wildlife would kill them. And a lot of the times when hunters are going over or around a aggressive wildlife, they'll use a lot of their jetpack fuel, which is a resource that they have to consider anytime they're fighting the monster, because it's their easiest way to dodge the monster's attacks. So it's a really good place. Hopefully I do it in this game. I'm not sure if I did, because it was towards the end of the alpha that I ended up realizing that that spot where you can fight. A lot of maps have really good paths where you can get a good amount of armor and do an ambush attack right at stage 1 and have a decent chance of winning right there, or at least getting some down penalties. We'll go ahead and see if I end up doing that. So it is, if I end up going straight to this mountain, which it looks like I am, we'll see if that is the case here in a second. I am going to the mountain. We'll see if I end up doing the ambush. Sometimes the aggressive wildlife isn't there. We'll have to see if it's here this time around. It is right there, so that's the aggressive wildlife I was talking about, and he actually does a little bit of damage to me. But at this point, you know, I can get a little bit of armor while the hunters are catching up, and then with that armor, I can use that armor to ambush them at stage 1. We'll see if I go ahead and do that. It is my preferred build on this map now, but we'll see if I actually do it this time around. As well as all of these being 3 meat in each one of these carcasses, so I mean it's really good for armoring up early. You can see I'm almost full armor. I'm a little bit far away, but it looks like I am going to go for this ambush here. So you can see the hunters kind of coming towards that elite wildlife, and you don't even need the small range perk to be able to see this. And just as they're about to start fighting it, as you can see, one of them got half health already. You end up doing this ambush. So let's see when I decide to go in. I noticed that they are fighting it. He's healed up, but I'm sure that he either used a cooldown for that or something along that line. So I do take my standard build on Goliath, by the way. 1 in charge, 1 in flame breath, and 1 in leap strike. And so I go ahead and do this. I don't think it was the best ambush I've ever done, because they did end up killing the wildlife fully before I actually engaged. So a little bit of my bad. Most of the time there was a buff on that one specifically. So most of the time they actually skipped this buff. They skipped the wildlife because it doesn't always have a buff, and with that you can get a better ambush. I probably should have just left it at this point, but now I'm actually taking health damage and I'm not really getting anything done. So at this point I'm a little behind. I mean, it's not game over by any means, but you know, I'm okay with engaging on this if I can get a down penalty. I don't think I'm actually going to end up getting one. So if I don't get one, this is probably all a mistake. I mean, I really need to get out at this point. I've lost 2 bars of life. It's definitely a bit shaky of a game at this point, so I do choose to keep going back in. I mean, it's okay. As long as you keep moving and you use your cooldowns, it's not the worst thing in the world, because you won't take a ton of damage. So I think now that the dome's down, I'm definitely going to get out of there as quickly as possible. Start to try to armor up. Not the fight that I wanted to take, but hopefully you can at least see how that would be a good idea in some circumstances. I didn't really pull it off the way I wanted to. If I see easy, like, passive wildlife that has 3 meat, I usually do stop and end up eating it, because it's really quick to stage up when you're eating things with 3 meat. A lot of the passive wildlife, I actually think those grazer things, whatever they are, the lightning things, are the only semi-passive Well, I think there's two that look similar. One of them is kind of aggressive, where it will attack you if you attack it, and then there's one that is that will just completely run away. The one that like you break their legs and it runs away. I think those are two different animals, but they both have 3 meat, and they're both pretty easy to kill. Even though one of them is a little bit aggressive, it won't deal much damage to you. So I am able to evolve at this point. I do have a decent amount of armor, but I think evolving is definitely going to be the correct move here, just because I have such low health. Even if I do engage, where am I climbing to? Alright, there we go. So I'm probably just looking for a safe area to evolve at this point. You definitely don't want to get caught out by Hank and have him orbital barrage on your face when you come out of that cocoon and you've lost all of your armor. So this is a good spot. It's got a little bit of cover from that like submarine thing. I don't even know what it is. Do I go tier 2 in all of those? That's the build I like to take, yeah. And since I'm behind, I'm obviously not going to mess around with this game and do something silly. So there's the pipe I was talking about earlier. To the left of me. Probably not going to do anything fancy with that right now, just because I do need to armor up. Now, as you can see, once you evolve, your health looks a lot better. I mean, it's still permanent health damage. I've still lost 2.5 bars, but when you get that little bit of extra health pool, it does help. And that was actually a really good... Oh, she was in front of me. I don't know exactly how they cut me off there, but it was really good. They ended up getting in front of me. The one bad thing is that it is the medic getting caught out. If I would have acted on that a little bit sooner, I may have been able to get a down penalty on the medic. They actually flanked me really nicely here. And I think at this point, it was kind of like an oh crap moment when they were all flanking me from different directions. I was like, oh, these guys actually know how to play, and I'm probably the farthest behind I've been in like a majority of my games. I don't really usually get this far behind. You can see all the arc mines to my left there. They have harpoons and arc mines from the last fight that I had there, so I'm going to end up getting caught by those. I don't take any damage from the arc mines though. That's definitely the worst. If you go up on like, it's really good if Markov can put arc mines on the top of cliffs and stuff, just as he's going through the wilderness and trying to track anyway, because a lot of the time the monster will climb up something and get hit by that and take a good amount, like maybe 2 bars of armor or something off, and it makes it really hard to fully armor up to engage. So right now I'm actually trying to sneak around these hunters, and as you can see, I'm trying to be a little sneaky to get myself some breathing room so I can armor up and possibly even just evolve to stage 3. So, you know, I showed some footprints. Unfortunately, Daisy could just like run straight over here and start staring right at me. But it looks like Maggie's probably trying to flank me, so he's going to run away. I think there's a certain proximity that Daisy will stay within the trapper's range, Maggie's range. So I did, I think, successfully juke them here. I wonder if this was the game actually where, and I end up aggroing birds right after that, but I wonder if this was the game that I actually thought that these guys played like significantly better than every other person I played. There was a specific group that they always would flank with 3 people and leave 1 towards the middle of the map, so that if they got juked, that guy would be in position to turn around and start the fight. Like they would always have someone to stop you from eating, basically. And I'm wondering if this is the game or not. I'll be able to know once I see the replay. I think maybe it's not the game, though. They would have seen me by now, probably, if that was the case. I'm hoping I can find that game before the beta and actually get that up on YouTube. I have a bunch of games that are not usable due to disconnections or black screens or something like things along those lines, bugs that would just happen because it was alpha and because, you know, they weren't used to that many people playing the game all at once. So I have to try to filter through those and actually find the games that I want to put up on YouTube. Alright, so I'm full armor. But I can't evolve yet, so I mean there's no reason not to just continue eating, get that evolve meter up. I don't know at all, like that juke must have completely destroyed them. I hope I actually recorded this up until that replay. So you guys can see exactly what happened here, because This was like the biggest juke I've ever done. It's taking them so long to actually come and find me. Unless they're all just camping the generator. No, they're actually finally here. They must have ran to the complete opposite end of the map and missed that first bird that I startled right after I juked them. So now you can see they are flanking me. I'm going to go ahead and go on this one guy that's just a little bit farther out. I think this is Hank. I don't know if I got confused or something, but he was inside of that tunnel line. Maybe I thought he was on top of it. I don't know. But I will stick on this medic a little bit, see what I can do. She's doing really good using her jetpack to get above me. But at this point, I think she must be probably out of jetpack soon. And there's only 2 of them here, it seems like, so... Now the trapper finally showed up, ended up doming me. And I'm just sticking on this medic. I need the medic to go down. Like, if nothing else happens during this fight, as long as the medic gets a down penalty, I'll be happy. Now, something to note, you can see that that Hank used the shield gun. There's a difference between Markov and Hyde's protective shield and Hank's shield gun. Markov and Hyde, if you attack their shield, it doesn't do anything. It's based on a timer. Whereas Hank's shield generator will actually take damage and go away quicker if you deal damage to it. So that's something to keep in mind. And always stay on top of knowing, you know, if it's his personal shield or if it's Hank's shield generator, so you can react appropriately. So the medic got back up. I downed her once, she got back up from someone resurrecting her, and I downed her again, so I got 2 strikes on the medic right here, back to back, which is super good for me. At this point, I'm ahead. If you can get 2 strikes on the medic, it's almost game over, as long as you don't have like an insignificant amount of health. And it looks like I have that buff in the top right corner. I didn't even notice me getting that, but that is the Tyrant buff. So the reason why I don't have that permanent health damage anymore is the Tyrant's buff perk is actually health regen, and for the monster that's like the biggest perk in the game. If you get that, you've basically won the game. Like, you have to hope as hunters that 1, the tyrants on the map don't spawn with a buff, and then 2, if they do, you kind of want to keep yourself in a vicinity close to them, close to that tyrant buff, so that you can interrupt the monster if he ever goes to try and actually eat that. At this point, I don't remember seeing myself fight the tyrant. I may have. I mean, I kind of talk sometimes when I think nothing's going on. I'm just, you know, feeding off the wildlife. I just talk about random things and zone out from what's actually happening in the game. But I'm guessing this time around they must have killed the tyrant, and I just ran by and ate its corpse afterwards, because that could happen. Even though the hunters kill the wildlife with the buff, the monster can still pick it up if he finds the corpse before. I'm not sure if they disappear or not, but I know if the hunter eats it, or rather the monster eats it, the hunters can't get the buff, so it doesn't work both ways. But there's nothing that hunters can do to stop the monster from eating something that they've killed, basically. The only thing they can do is with the newest trapper, I don't know exactly his name, but they can put a tracking dart inside of the corpse, and if he eats it, it'll track the monster for a significant amount of time. That's really the only thing you can do, is just use tracking darts on all of the monsters that have buffs. But yeah, at this point I'm basically full health again, so everything that they did in the beginning of the game is completely used up from that buff that I got. To be honest, I think that buff is actually too strong for the monster. I don't know if this is a good place to evolve. Like, I'm guessing I'm looking to evolve here, but it's so... like, I'm the highest thing, and yeah, they already saw me. I figure that's a pretty bad spot, and looking at it from, you know, just watching the game and doing this post-game commentary, I can see, like, that was a terrible idea. It doesn't look like Hank's in position for an orbital strike, so... they actually didn't do a ton of damage to me, but evolving being the highest thing and like right in eyesight for the hunters to see, definitely not the best plan. So at this point, I just want to armor up and take the fight to the power generator and win that way. I feel really confident because they have a significant amount of down penalties, 2 on the medic and 1 on, I think, the trapper is the one with the single down penalty that you see there. So, you know, game plan is just to take the medic out of the fight, send her back up to the ship. Actually, it looks like someone's at the ship right now, as you can see, with a timer. So I'm wondering if maybe when they were flanking me, because they have to split up to do those flank maneuvers, I wonder if somebody got caught inside of a megamouth or a plant, carnivorous plant, and ended up dying that way. Alright, there's the medic up on top of here. I mean, she does an okay job of juking me right there. I'm going to end up going and forcing the fight inside of the power relay, it looks like. I have a minute and 10 seconds to kill them all or kill the power relay before they end up dropping back in. I don't think he's used his personal shield yet, but he should be using it soon. So at this point, I mean, I can just wait. Using Flame Breath there, obviously it doesn't do anything. You can see that even though I'm damaging the shield itself, it doesn't make it go any quicker. Whereas with Hanks it will. The medic actually does a pretty good job of juking me. I have to give it to her there. But once she runs out of jetpack, there's nothing you can do. Like, you can be an amazing juker, but as long as the monster stays on you, you are going to take damage at some point. So I have 25 seconds. And it looks like that's going to be it. Monster win. I do want to see... Let's see. It's possible that that replay will be shown, so that's pretty awesome. There's about a minute left on this video. So we'll see if the replay gets shown. But I will let that play out, and then afterwards the video will be done. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.